one who conquered death. And so it is normally, and this is very unfortunate, that in our country these days, when you're given a microphone and you are a political leader, then men and women have different perceptions about you. I like to introduce myself as a friend of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. A sinner, a sinner saved by grace, and nothing more. Because at the end of the day, we shall all give account of our lives on earth. So, Bishop, you're going to allow me to say this. You know, they come powerful like Dr. Hansen. Imagine a man confronting an archbishop and telling him, you are an adulterer. And the man actually ends up saving him because that archbishop was contemplating committing suicide. He helped him. Now, if it is happening to an archbishop, that happened to an archbishop, did he say within the neighborhood of East African region? Then it reminds me of these chief priests, the ones who actually went before Pilate, Pontius Pilate, and insisted that Christ be crucified. The chief priests, they actually cried, and even now, you know, Pilate was a little bit of a fearful man. So when we're saying all fear is gone, that man needed fear. Because there are men like that who need to be delivered of fear. And I believe that is what this country needs now. When the young Kenyans came out, they actually said in 2024, we don't want to live in a fearful country. Allow us to speak. But Pilate was fearful because, do you recognize in terms of John 20, he actually asked Christ after the chief priests accusing him, saying he's a son of God. He called him aside. Mate, tell me, are you the son of God? And don't you realize I have the power to either have you crucified or have you released? And of course, Christ knew it was a mission to save you and me. At that point, I would have told Pilate, I am the Son of God, let me go. But he didn't, just imagine. And because I'm a lawyer, allow me to say this, because I've really been reflecting on this, that they didn't even allow Christ the right to appeal. He was not even given the right, because these chief priests and we came out there and say, crucify him, crucify him. And even in the fearful Pilate had written there, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the King of Jews. And they disputed that. No, you say you should not remove that. And now he became a little courageous. He said, what I've written, I have written. So, he didn't appeal. If he appealed, we probably would not be here today. Because on a mission to save humanity. And don't you see that what my friend Dr. Hansen was talking about, he talks about incredible numbers, prophesying about what will happen in the United States. And you know, these days we live in very controversial times about LGBT and things. They speak as straight as he does. But I think Adalia was more kind. She prayed for us. Okay, so fellow believers, I urge that we live that spirit of the resurrected Jesus Christ. But we have to wrestle with the daily problems now. Yeah. And those daily problems are here with us. There are problems. You can argue that Jesus Christ lived so many years ago, but he has risen. And I think for the many of us who came here and be prayed for, I'm sure we're leaving this place today, Bishop, a lot more encouraged. Thank you for having us. And, you know, I came here last time. I actually quietly came and sat somewhere there. And I remember Pastor Dorcas Gachagua came. She was then the second lady in our republic. And she was celebrating 90 years of Reverend Wilson Mamboleo, a dear friend of mine. He actually helped me when I was Minister for Education. Because, I must share this with you, that the power of prayer and revelation, a young Minister for Education, and the teachers went on strike. Forget about those foreign affairs, but just focus on Minister for Education. And these teachers went on strike. And they were shouting, "Minister with baby face, sink with the canoe and not with teachers." I've since grown a little older. And so Reverend Wilson called me. I said, and he quoted, I think, the book of Deuteronomy, "Stand still and see the salvation of God." And that strike fizzled, and I survived. My wife was watching from the treasury where she was working, and this was outside Jogo House. Lots of particular women teachers, they can be vicious. They were shouting, "Minister, baby face, sink with the canoe and not with teachers." Those were canoe days. We come a long way. So I believe we can all now, we will not sink. Amen. We will not sink. Even the young ones who are yet to be born will come into a country that is, in terms of statistics, 80% Christian. But Bishop Jugona, I hear you. And I think what the man of God also said is, if the church is divided, there will be no future for Kenya. Thank you so much, Dr. Hansen. I hope you can meet them and tell them. And if you find some in their midst able to acknowledge the sinful nature of who we all are, then please help them. I therefore, honestly, these leaders came, and I don't think they need to be introduced, because they're all really like, why should they get special recognition? But we have a prophetess, and that's, I think, why she came. Dr. Hansen, I introduce you to Agnes Kavindu. She's an elected leader, but a prophetess. She's not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. She sometimes speaks very tough, like Dr. Hansen. Very tough. You know the things he speaks. Honestly, I'd rather go to Adalia because she's softer. He's very tough. And we have also the Deputy Governor of Machakos, is a young man, one of the upcoming leaders. Deputy Governor of Machakos. We have young people like Ndwiga from, I don't even want to talk about the party, that's my team. But of course I am who I am, so most of them are from Wiper Patriotic Front. And Honorable Kaende is actually Deputy Majority Leader in the city of Nairobi. And he represents Line Saba here in Kibera. So very close to his territory. We have also Honorable Musango, who is MCA from Pipeline, Pando Embakasi South. There's also Honorable Mandevu. I don't know why they call him Mandevu. I think he should go and shave. He's MCA Kware. But now Mandevu, you should stand next to Klein. Klein is from my clan with Faith. Klein, I forgot to mention. I think I introduced you to that young man. And his friend Faith, they are there. We have Mr. Keter. Keter is a very special young man. I've been watching him. He stammers, and he was even going to introduce a bill in Parliament, though he's not a member of Parliament. But Keter is the chair of people living with disabilities within Wiper Patriotic Front. Young man from Kericho. And there is Mr. Munyao, who's our coordinator in Nairobi. Then we have the young ones. Please stand. The patriots, whether women or young men, they are there. So they just came. I didn't ask them to come. No, they read that I was coming. So I hope you're getting something from here. Because, some of you may be tempted to act like goons. Goonism. Please pray, Bishop, against that spirit. That's my last comment. The spirit of goonism. It used to be that, please be seated. It used to be that during political contests, men and women will espouse, they will talk about their agenda, and they will listen to each other. In fact, probably even used to be better under Moi that time, because the DCs were the ones who are chairmen of campaigns. Though they would not allow you to come with goons carrying rungus and pangas. Now, these days, and unfortunately, pray for our police service. Because when we amended Constitution 2010, and we now got it, a very important document, which I think makes Kenya stand different. And the future, the political future of this country stands really properly guided because of that document. Elsewhere, like in Tanzania, for example, once election results of a presidential contest are announced, it is the case of Pontius Pilate, no appeal. No appeal, hakuna appeal. But here, Kenyans can go to the Supreme Court, they can do all those things. So, that document pronounces that our police force will be in the National Police Service. But now, they've gone backwards, so pray for them. And I am telling you this because I had a very important discussion with the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kanja, and I want to thank him, because since that meeting, he has not sent men to come and enter a sanctuary and throw tear gas, like they did in Othaya. Because we are now to be bold and go and say, this is not expected in a democracy. Let the freedom of worship prevail. And you remember, Bishop, when the church, I remember I'd gone for the ordination of Bishop at the Sitam Bishop, what was his name? He's now the chairman of Bishop Ogede. He's now the chairman of anti-corruption, something. And I remember saying that time, because I was the vice president, let us have a discussion. Let's not have a country going into, because there are some against the chief priests and others who believed that the constitution which you now enjoy, and I must conclude, it gives the freedom of worship, which is absolute. Therefore, the freedom of worship is absolute. May the church pray for our police service. Amen. So that they can also, a lot of them are born again. A lot of them are forced to beat people when they don't have to. But this habit they developed, particularly the Gen Z revolt, that they can now allow undisciplined youths, call them goons, going ahead to beat and maim with a full police protection. That is not expected in a democracy. And I hope Inspector General Kanja listened to that advice. Because since that time, we have not had interruption of the type we had. So again, Easter, I agree with you, you're praying that there will be no accidents on our roads this time, suffering in the streets. Let's remember them, because our Lord even died for those. For those. I particularly want to identify with the suffering Kenyans. And may the mission and the vision of this congregation grow in leaps and bounds. If I leave this place and Satan tries to bind me, I'll come back for deliverance. Thank you.
Amen. I don't know whether I'm still. I want us to appreciate the opportunity that we have had. Wonderful, wonderful ministry. And we are going to dismiss